participated in a groundbreaking ceremony marking the initiation of construction for 3,112 housing units. This is part of his vision for the mortgage and housing sector in his elaborate campaign manifesto to address Nigeria's housing deficit, which is currently at a staggering 28 million units. Now, speaking on the determination of his administration to ensure that Nigeria's housing deficit is breached, the president said he's determined to face the housing challenge, bedeviling the nation with the boldness and urgency that it requires. Let's listen to the president.
It is a great honor for me to make this historic groundbreaking here today. I've listened carefully to the able minister's theme on the housing development. He understands how to propel the engine of growth, stability, economic resurgence of Nigeria. You saw the vision when we took the ministry out of the cloakroom and make it its own independent visionary path for greatness. We know the value of housing. We appreciate the fact that it is an elixir for economic prosperity, job creation. From the Honorable Minister and his team, what they are about to do to turn the country to a large construction site for housing units.
President Bola Tinubu speaking there. So for the next few minutes tonight, let's get a comprehensive overview of the renewed Hope Cities and Estates project with Honorable Yetunde Uju, MDC Federal Housing Authority, who joins us from our Abuja studio. Honorable, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Welcome to Politics Tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for having me tonight.
Right, so let's start this conversation with what you've been able to achieve since you became the MDCO of the Federal Housing Authority. What changes have you brought to the authority since you assumed office?
Thank you very much. I assumed office with my executive team on the 16th of February 2024. And on the assumption of office, we knew we had a lot of challenges ahead of us, a lot of tasks, especially the mandate given to us by Mr. President to make sure in the housing delivery. And the first thing we had to do was first to sit down with the management team of the Federal Housing Authority, with the executive management and the management team, to draw up a roadmap and to make sure within the limited time space, we have to move fast. First of all, in going forward, you have to encourage the staff. Motivation of staff is very key. And this thing is always done by leadership. We found out some one or two hiccups along the line. We realized we have dedicated staff, but what is needed is leadership. And immediately, we set the ball rolling. As we speak today, we've gone around 21 states of the Federation. You cannot build a house without a land. It is obviously clear. And in building the houses, you need to talk to the governors of every state. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has mandated us and warned us that irrespective of any political party, he is interested in giving Nigerians affordable housing and good housing. And we've deemed it fit, as I speak today, we've gone to 21 states, not only APC states, PDP, Labour, NNPP. And as I'm speaking today, we've achieved 21 lands in 21 different states within the shortest period of 3 months. And not just that we're given this land, compensations also was being cleared by the state governors. So in 3 months, if we can go around 21 states to get each sizable of land, it shows we are coming with something. And I want to also thank the state governors at these junctions for the collaborative effort, the synergy, and in making sure that the Renew Up agenda in terms of housing unit of Mr. President mandate is being achieved. So that's where we are for now.
Right. So will you say you have the best management team?
To be honest with you, yes. But you still find out some one or two maybe bad eggs along the line. But we have the best executive and management team right now. Among the management teams, we have professionals who are engineers, professional architects, professional builders, professional quantity surveyors in all fields. And remember, in Federal Housing Authority, we have offices in 6 states, 6 zones of the Federation. And I can assure you, we are not lacking. We have the manpower. We have the required skills. All what we need initially was leadership. And now the leadership has arrived. And I can assure Nigerians that FHA has the best management team to deliver the mandate of Mr. President.
All right, I mean, we'll come back to the collaborative efforts between the authority and state governors. But for now, I'd like you to tell us about the significance of the Renewed Hope Citizen Estate project and the impact it will have on housing in the country.
Oh, that's very good. You see, we all know the importance of housing, and we know the importance of infrastructure in the country. Quite all right, we might be experiencing a bit of inflation. It is obvious. You see, the housing, we know the multiplier effect of housing when construction is about to start. You're talking about the industrial hubs where production of cement is needed. You're talking about where job creation will be massive. There is no way you're going to start an housing project or an infrastructural project that the whole Nigerians will not be touching one way or another. And it's also going to help to curb insecurity. It's going to provide a lot of employment opportunities for the youths, the artisans, and the traders. And Mr. President has deemed it fit to make sure that he gets all these things in the right peg, in the right hole. And I can assure you in a couple of months, Nigerians are going to begin to see the economy getting stable, using housing as a critical tool in tackling inflation.
So how then will this stimulate economic growth?
It does. It does stimulate the economic growth. Like we said, once the finances are being released, I think a week ago, there's an approval by the FEC, Federal Executive Council, about some certain trillions, I think about 2 trillions, that was passed by Federal Executive Council that will be released into the economy. You can imagine if that money is being released into the economy and the housing sector has a certain part of it and we decided to deploy it judiciously into the Nigerian economy. Like I said, the trading industry will move on, the building construction industry will go up, job creation will critically improve, and there will be a lot of funds, a lot of money. We've seen it in the world. 2008, 2009, there was an economic meltdown almost all over the world. United States is an example. In 2009, they came in, they pumped money into the infrastructural sector, which involved construction and housing. And in less than 2-3 years, they came out for the meltdown. And this is going to also be, is going to stimulate a lot of things in terms of economic growth once this fund is being released. All we are begging Nigerians is to have a bit of trust and to be a bit patient. That this present team of federal housing not...
Talking about trust, I'm sure you mentioned the issue of trust because you know many Nigerians are doubtful about housing projects. So why should they believe in your renewed Hope City project?
Well, let me tell you, we all know what the social contract theory is all about. And that's where the trust comes in. And presently, like I said, Mr. President is a trusted man. I can say that for myself. And that's why he has appointed those of us he feels we are going to deliver on his mandate of renewed hope agenda. You see, when you are talking about trust, trust itself is a very simple thing. Trust itself is about making sure that the funds are judiciously used. And you see, it's not just the fund being judicially used, it's also making sure at the end of the day, the housing project becomes a success. And that's why we've taken it from the very beginning, the onset, by talking with the state governors, by engaging the state governors, by making sure they are part of it. They will be the off-takers. These houses will be built in different states of the federation. And if you don't synergize with these governors, there is no way it's going to move forward. And in working together, we are opening our books to the state governors as well, because the governors have given us land for free. The governors have paid compensation for us. 21 governors, I can categorically say tonight, has done that for us. So what are we hiding? We are telling Nigerians what exactly is going on. And that's what Mr. President has also sent us. And we know from our own side that we can be trusted because for the fact that we have different pedigrees. Some of us are very young. We don't want our name to get spoiled. We still have a long to go. And that's why we are going to declare in our books for the whole world to see what we are going to come out with in the next 1 year. And at what level of every stage of the construction we're going to make it happen. So people should not be afraid. I've said it categorically, lands were being given to us free, compensations were being given to us free, being paid by the state government. By the time we pull out these resources from the federal government, we're going to sit on the table, all Nigerians are going to see it, and they are going to see what we are going to use with their funds, and with the money being released to us.
All right, Honorable, this is a project that will cut across the entire nation. And you have, according to you, you have 21 lands so far in 21 states. What kinds of conversation are you having with governors of the remaining 16 states? What kind of conversations are you having with them?
To be honest, we are going to visit the remaining 16 states. The 21 states we visited, I led the team. Today make it 21. I just came back from Kogi State. We are not going to leave any governor on turn. We are not going to talk to any governor on the phone. We are going there personally. I've been leading the team from day one, and I'm going to lead it throughout the 36 states of the Federation, including Abuja. And in the next 1 month or so, we're going to complete the journey. And to be honest with you, we've been going by road to most of the states. Because, you know, some of these states do not have air route where you have the airport and everything. The remaining 16 governors, tomorrow we're on our way to Zamfara. Next tomorrow again, we should be on our way to Bauchi. So we are going to touch every state to have this discussion with them. That's why we want to make it a success of the Renew Hope agenda in terms of the housing sector. We don't want a situation. This is Nigeria. Mr. President is the father of all in this country. And he has given us the mandate, like I said earlier on, irrespective of the political party. We are not interested. We are only interested in delivering housing, affordable housing for Nigerians. And in 1 month's time, we're going to complete the remaining 16 states.
All right. For the purpose of clarity, because there are conflicting figures out there, some reports say this project targets the delivery of 34,500 housing units in 30 states of the Federation. Another report says 100,000 housing units across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. What exactly is the correct figure?
To be honest, at this junction, I won't be able to tell you the exact figure. You are not far from those figures. You know, it's not only Federal Housing Authority that is saddled with the responsibility, even though we have the core mandate to build. The Ministry of Housing is there, our parent ministry. You also have some private sectors who are also involved in this thing. But I can assure you that we're going to deliver nothing less than 200 to 250,000 at the end of it. You know, there's peculiarities in different states also, mind you. It's easier to get land in some certain states at vast. It's difficult to get. Lagos is very difficult. We all know that. Owerri, that's Imo State, is a bit extremely difficult. So if you get 100 hectares of land in a place like Kebbi, Adamawa, you might not probably get 100 hectares of land in a place like Owerri. So it's going to vary, but very shortly, we will sit down with our parent ministry and all other various departments and agencies, and even including the private sector, to actually know the exact figure we are going to come out with. But it can't be less than 250 to 300,000. Remember that in some states, these houses are not duplexes. These are bungalows, and it's very easy to construct bungalows.
All right. So I see that you have a plan for Nigerians in diaspora. Why are you advocating for Diaspora City?
I was a victim of diaspora fraud. I stayed in UK for over 8 to 9 years. I was sending money home, actually, to get my house being built, only for me to come back after 8 years, after working extremely very hard in the cold weather, to realize I was being duped. And since then, I took it upon myself, not knowing even I was going to get into this position that Mr. President did it fit to put me. I know what diasporans are going through. And that's also why I said we need the synergy and the collaboration of the state governors. In FHA, we've just commissioned our digitalization system. And what we're going to do with the diasporans, everybody abroad, to be honest with you, wants to come back home. We all love Nigeria. We don't have any other country. But everybody also wants a good shelter, a secured shelter. And at the end of the day, we know a lot of diasporans are being duped. So we are in conjunction with the Diaspora Commission. Honorable Abike Dabre, the chairman of the Diaspora Commission, was in my office about a couple of days ago. We want to open a tripartite platform with our digitalization system, so that when people in diaspora pay to any of the states, the Diaspora Commission will see it, we will see it, and the respective states will also see it in a coordinated platform. We want people as well to feel as if they are in United Kingdom. We want to create a city out of a city. In most of these states, we have been giving up to 50,000, 200,000 hectares. So we just deemed it fit. That is good for us also, as we are doing the mass building for the general public in terms of the social housing scheme. We also believe that we can take about 3 to 5 hectares in every state to also do a decent building for the diasporans abroad, which will provide good securities, good amenities, good infrastructure, so that they'll be encouraged to come home, and they will know that there's a government in which they can trust. And thank God the Diaspora Commission has all the data of diasporans abroad, and we will collaborate heavily with them, and we want everybody, or majority of people, to come home and feel at home. So we are really interested. So, like I told you, I was a victim, and I don't want anybody to be a victim. And Mr. President has also warned us that he doesn't want anybody to also be a victim of fraud in terms of housing. And that's why he has mandated us, I repeat again, he has mandated us to critically look into the diaspora housing program.
That sounds very good. But Honorable, what is the time frame for the commencement and completion of this project? And is this project in phases?
To be honest with you, like I said, we are not building skyscrapers. Most of these buildings are going to be in bungalows. And I can assure you the most difficult part of it is land. That's the whole truth. That's the most difficult. Because on land matters, you can be on it for 1 year. You'll be going back and front knowing the nature of land issues in the country. And I can assure you, any time frame from now, September thereabout will kickstart. I said to the executive governors of various states that to build bungalows, affordable housing of bungalows of about 500 units in every state won't cost us up to a year or even 1,000. Bungalows are one of the easiest to build. All you need to put in place is only infrastructures. And I can tell you, you can do a 1,000 bungalows in less than 1 year. So let's be looking at another 1 year, 1.5 years, thereabout. Nigerians are going to see the dividend. You know, for some of us, we don't talk too much. Just like Mr. President, it's always about action, setting our eyes on the balls, and achieving the desired goal. And I can assure Nigerians, in the next 1 year from now, we are going to see it in phases. Like I said, 21 lands is being achieved. In the next 1 month, 36 different lands in different states, running into hectares of land, will be duly achieved. We are going on with our designs as well. Individual states with individual designs, knowing the peculiarity of the country. We are one, for sure, but we differ in religion, we differ in culture, and we differ in ethnic. And that's why our design is working towards that as well, with different states. We are in conjunction with the Ministry of Housing in every state of the Federation, because we don't also want these houses, when it's being built, to be neglected and not to be occupied. So the synergy is critically key. Give us 1 year along the line, 1.5 year, you're going to see results.
Interesting. But I'm sure one question some Nigerians will be asking themselves is, what is the main aim of building so many cities in this tough economy?
How are you also going to arrest the economy? You can only arrest the economy easily through infrastructure, through construction. The more you build, our population is over 200 million as we speak. And how many houses do we even have in the country? And we are going to make something out of it. People are looking for houses, seriously. And we are going to make it affordable. And that's the reason why we realize that we need to arrest the inflation. I've said it over time. And the best way to arrest the inflation is construction and infrastructure, which housing is critically part of it. I want to give an example. Let's assume a certain fund is being released, which I told you has gone to FEC. Imagine if every state of the Federation gets about a 30 to a 40 billion naira goes into every state. Definitely the economy is going to change in that state. Definitely there will be job creation. Definitely there will be wealth. Definitely. That's the only way, through infrastructure and through construction, that you're going to come out on inflation. And that's why I'm happy, and I will continue to be happy with Mr. President, with the decision and members of Federal Executive Council in which they took by making sure it's the best way, through the Ministry of Finance Incorporated. That's the only way. It's going to boom the economy, and you are going to see it very shortly. We just want Nigerians to have that trust in us.
So you talked about affordability. How affordable will your houses be? And what makes your houses different from other real estate companies?
Yes, thank you very much. I've said it. At the very beginning, I said these lands were given to us free. I want to give you a scenario. You can imagine 100 hectares of land being given free. You can imagine 100 hectares of land compensation also paid by the state governors. At the end of the day, that will make a difference. It's difficult for a private to get this land free. A private will have to sweat before they get the land. We all know about all these things. Land doesn't come easy. So the government are also doing us favors. And at the end of the day, the people must benefit and inherit it. And our cost will be totally different. Because like I told you, we've already saved 2 billion naira in most states. And if we have saved 2 billion through the effort of the state governors in all these states, definitely our own house will definitely bring out that significant difference. And it's really going to help us. And Nigerians are going to benefit. Remember that most of the off-takers also will be civil servants. And even though it's open to the general public, but the state government also told us that they will give us off-takers. And definitely, since we knew what the state did for us at the inception, we also were going to repay them back. Because at the end of the day, they've helped us to publicly clear about 20% of our cost. And in giving back to them, we also make sure we remove that 20% cost. So you can see what is going to be the difference in terms of buying FHA properties.
All right, so, I mean, because you got the lands for free, is this what the authority means when it says this is a cross-subsidy initiative or arrangement?
Well, you might say it's a cross-subsidy initiative of arrangement, but I will tell you that I think we have to give credit and kudos to Mr. President. You see, when you have a good leader who has a good vision, who have a good mind, definitely others will key in. All the followers will key in. And you can see the reason why the executive governors are keying in, because they realize Mr. President has a good vision for the country. And they are ready. For the first time, this is an FHA not sitting in Abuja. This is an FHA going from one state to another in less than 2 months, 21 states. The governors even said it themselves, that if all agencies of government at the federal level can act in this manner, then this country is going to move forward. And by if you don't ask, you won't get. If you don't knock, the door will not be open. You can imagine us sitting in Abuja just writing to the state governors saying, give us land. The bureaucracy process will be enormous. Years, it will run into years. So if you call it a cross-subsidy, yes, but it's about the governors as well, saying the mind, the mission, the determination, and like I said, the social contrast and the trust in which they have with Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and in making sure that the housing projects becomes a real and affordable becomes a reality to Nigerians.
I mean, I actually wanted to ask how easy it was for you to convince these state governors. But let's talk about budgets. How much has been budgeted for this entire project? And where do you intend to get funds for these projects? Well,
thank you very much. I'll be honest with you. When I got to FHA, Federal Housing Authority of Nigeria, I met only 300 and something million to 400 million. I told my staffs and the entire management team, I said FHA is the richest, but it looks like we are the poorest. You have to work. You see, if you don't work, you won't get what you want. As we speak today, we have about 3 billion plus, and we know we don't have enough funds. But thank God, like I said, for what was passed at the Federal Executive Council, which FHA and FMB was highly mentioned. And that means fund is coming to us drastically. I'm not afraid. We are not afraid. We know the president we are serving. We know his mind. Once you walk, the president will support you. Once you sit down low, the president will not support you. And I'm telling you this, and the reason I'm not too worried about fund even for this coming is, the governors have also said, and I will repeat, call us. We will also assist in doing other things for you in terms of infrastructure and everything, because we trust in Mr. President. And very shortly, I don't want to say what figure until we meet with the Minister of Finance, with the Murphy Minister of Finance Incorporated. We'll be able to know the exact fund. We've done our designs, We've done our bill of quantities. We've done everything. We're about to present it to the Ministry of Finance because the money is Ministry of Finance Incorporated. And we also share it with our parent ministry for our Minister, Federal Authority to say. So the fund definitely is coming. What we are budgeting for every state will differ, like I said, because some of these costs are 20%. The land availability is also there. But we'll be looking at trillions to achieve, maybe $1 trillion thereabout to achieve the desired, to achieve what our set goals are in providing these houses for Nigerians. And remember, we've also said we will do semi-finished. We are not going to do finished houses. And I will say it, and I'll repeat it tonight. All our hands are not equal. Why do I want to finish a house for a level 6 officer? After doing the infrastructure, after doing the exteriors, all the road networks, everything, doing a similar time plates at the exteriors, coming interior. Once we can do the electric fitting, knowing the importance of electricity, do a bit of the plumbing internally, we will allow the occupiers and the owners of the houses to go and do their finishing themselves. If I decide I want to use a tiles of 1 million naira, Spanish tile, Italian tiles, why do I want to force the same 1 million naira on a level 6 officer? And that's why you see the prices are going up. Let us face reality. If I decide I want to use a door of 2 million naira, why will I want to force a door of 2 million naira on a level 4 officer? Let everybody decide what finishing is best for he or she. And I can have test to it, and I can be honest with you, the junior cadre, those who are the junior cadre that are going to get these houses, who are going to buy it either through mortgage, direct buying, or anything, they will finish those property first before the so-called elites, in quotes, and the senior officers. So that's why I said our budget will differ. We are going to do a semi-finished. And we'll look at budget because we want to make it affordable. Mr. President have told us it has to be affordable. And that's why we are taking this step of affordability, trying to build, to make sure we find a way
affordability. Apart from affordability, what ownership avenues are accessible to Nigerians?
Oh, well, it's open to everybody. To be honest with you, it's open to everybody. First of all, anything Federal Housing Authority is always in the public. Any Nigerians can come in and buy. And most of our houses have always been bought. Presently, we are doing one in Buhari. As I speak to you today, we've not finished. Nigerians are paying. We don't discriminate. Remember, we are a government agency. We put all our adverts outside. You meet up with the criteria. We don't know where you come from. We don't want to know who you are. The houses are available to all Nigerians. When you
so
meet
what
up
I
the
mean
requirements, and they are simple.
All right, but what I'm talking about are options like single digits, 30-year mortgage, mortgage loans, rent-to-own scheme, or outright purchase.
Well, that's why. Well, for the outright purchase is there. For the single digit, we have a mortgage bank, which everybody knows. The parent mortgage bank is the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, and is the only mortgage institution that has a single digit, which Nigerians can always approach the Federal Mortgage Bank, which we work in synergy together. We also have the Federal Housing Authorities Mortgage Bank, which is under the main mortgage bank. And I can assure you, with the fund also being released, or will be released shortly, Nigerians can afford the single digit from Federal Mortgage Bank. That's the best I think they can go to. So, with all the proofs and all the identity, like I said, the requirement being needed, if you don't have the money to do direct buying, the Federal Mortgage Bank is there once you meet all the criteria. And they're always there to make sure that to assist Nigeria in terms of mortgages. 25-year mortgage plan is on the pipeline. Presently, like I said, which was released at the Federal Executive Council meeting, so that it will come to Nigeria in an easy flow and an easy way of repayment, so that it won't tighten anybody. And I can tell you, with what we have on ground presently, most mortgages will be cleared in 10 years or less than 10 years. So I will employ Nigerians to please, once we start, to also approach Federal Mortgage Bank. And if you don't have the capacity to do direct buying, the Federal Mortgage Bank is there on a single digit. But let the FMB come and talk for themselves on that.
All right.